Hey y'all, it's Ari. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Ari and Sid Show. If you like what you hear, please share, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram. Welcome to another episode of the Ari and Sid Show. I'm Ari.
And I'm Sid. We're forever friends, and this is the shit we care about.
On any given day, we find ourselves having conversations about some meaningful shit and sometimes some not so meaningful shit. And so we wanted to make a show to share with the world in hopes to spread some awareness and learn from one another outside of our text threads.
For sure. So if you hear some shit that you agree with, you want to stay connected with us because we're bomb, or you want to help us spread some awareness, any information that we share today, we will link it in our episode descriptions and also on our social media pages. So be sure to follow us.
Yes, we welcome all the follows, and we follow back. So don't be shy. So now that we have all of that fun jazz out of the way, we're going to get into some shit. We're coming to the end of the year. This is also our last episode of the year. Sad face. Yeah. But even though it is our last episode, we will be back, which we will share more information towards the end on that. And so basically, I've been seeing a lot on my Twitter about how 2020 was shitty and 2021 is our year. And I don't know. I don't know if I can get behind that. What do you think about that term 2021? Next year is our year. Don't even trip.
Can I say that, like, I'm anxious about the year? Like, I first don't want to put that much pressure on 2021. Like 2021, you come in here and you do what you need to do. Okay. Don't feel no pressure to be nobody's perfect.
Right.
You feel me? But I don't know. Like, I don't think all of 2020 was shit. Like, I don't think we should allow ourselves to put 2020 just in the hole. There was some, of course, like, everyone's story is going to be different and everyone's experience is going to be different. But I feel that for a large majority of us, there are some good things that we can say happen in 2020. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's down to simple, like, this one day I did this, or it's a simple fact that, like, you breathed a couple breaths in 2020, right? Like,
yeah.
You made so I don't know. I don't want to put too much pressure on 2021, but I mean, I do think it's good for people to have, like, I guess, their eye on the prize.
Yeah, I have this theory. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I know psychologically having a resolution or goal for a certain time period, that's part of smart smart goals. So, it's specific, measurable, blah, 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 all that shit, right? So I understand that, but I just think that I'm with you. That's a lot of pressure to put on an entire year. You know what I'm saying? Like, look back a month ago, bruh. Like, I can't even imagine thinking about having a goal a month ago that I was like, that I meant to have for the entire year. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think when I think back to 2019, and I really can't think back that far. It's terrible, but I don't remember having like this whole like 2020 vision besides like wanting to travel. I had places I wanted to go, but that I didn't get to go to. But you know what? Those places are still going to be there. You know what I mean? Like, those cities aren't going to fall off the face of the earth unless, that one big ass tsunami comes and knocks California, that whole theory. There's a whole theory. When I was a kid, I was terrified that California is going to fall off and Arizona and the West Coast was going to get a beach or be swallowed up with it, But anyways, all that to say, I definitely think that you can have a goal for any moment. It could be in 2 hours. It doesn't have to be like the first of the year I'm going to start working out. It could be like on Tuesday or like whatever. I have this tweet that I always tweet usually around the beginning of every month, because people use that as really it's a marketing scheme, right? It's like, oh, it's the first of something, start a new beginning. But I always want to highlight in the beginning of every month, like you can have a new beginning at any moment. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to put pressure on December. You know, we're halfway through December. A lot of people tweeted on the first, like, oh, December is going to bring you lots of, you know, money and you're going to get everything you wanted and yada, yada, yada. Like if those aren't in your goals, that's not going to happen. So I just think that's been coming up a lot. So I wanted to share my thoughts, because it's all marketing, people. You know, you're going to see those things about people, you know, start your weight loss journey in the best way. Can't be the best person you are, be the best self, and start on the first of the year, you know, all that kind of shit, which really you can do that on fucking the 30th, the 22nd, fucking on the midnight hour of your birthday. I don't fucking know. It could be any
This
time.
is coming from the marketer herself. She's like, look, I'm telling y'all what's real. Like, and that's real though, because I mean, technically, right, if I start something on December 17th, January 17th is going to be a month from then. It won't be the month of January, right? But in time, it was a month. So it still happened. I still did it within that time frame. So like, yeah, you don't have to wait for it to happen. And like, now that I'm starting to think about it, it's like, dang, like if it's December 1st and you're telling me to wait to January 1st to work out, like, are you really telling me like to get on my shit? Like, why don't you tell me like, hey, you can start tomorrow?
Yeah.
Like,
and you know,
start when you want, and then like, you know what I'm saying? Because remember last week I talked about how like the only reason I'm not good at something, or the only reason I haven't made progress in something is because I haven't started. Well, shit, if you start today, by January 1st, you're going to have some more progress to add on top of that, right? So
yeah,
it's really like, yeah, like I like that. The idea of like, don't wait on other people or on specific like landmarks, I guess, to create your, to wrap your goals around. Really like start it when you want to start it. Start it when you feel most inspired, I feel.
Yeah. And
most inspired, start then.
Yeah, that's big facts. I like that. Start when you're most, because you know what? When you're most inspired, that's when you'll be committed.
Exactly.
And I think committing to a full 365 days of tackling whatever goal for that year is a big piece to bite off. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you want to have your plate full, but like not if it's all on some real unrealistic shit, you know, like I'm going to eat filet mignon every single day. No. That's, you know what I mean? Like that's a $60 fucking steak. If I can't afford it, then my goals are too big. Not too big, but you know what I mean? Anyways, I digress. I could talk about this topic all day long, which is fitting because our topic today is goal setting and resolutions.
Yeah. So that pops right into like our first question of like, with your feelings about that and feelings about like, you know, not waiting till the start, like how do you personally set your goals for yourself?
I can preach all this shit and then be like, I don't really set goals. No, I'm just kidding. I think for me, I used to be a big procrastinator, which in some sense I still am, but like procrastinating to the point where I was going into debt or owing money kind of thing. You know what I mean? So somewhere along the line, I decided that like, if I said I was going to do something, then I'm going to do it. So if I know that in like deep within my heart, you know, being really, really honest with myself, if I know I'm not going to commit to doing something, then I don't set it as a goal.
That's real.
So it's like, instead of setting goals, which is, this is just really a perspective thing. Instead of setting true goals, like smart goals, I do like a bunch of task lists. So my to-do list is essentially my goals, but really it's all the steps that I need to take to get to a goal. But I don't like to say, because I like to have freedom. Maybe I decided I wanted to lose weight, right? But instead of being like, I want to lose 30 pounds, I'm going to tell myself that today I'm going to work out. So I know like psychologically people say like, oh, if you have a goal weight in mind, then you'll be more successful. But really for me, it's about like building a habit of doing something.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the way you phrase that, because like, if you say, instead of like, oh, I want to lose this much weight or this many pounds in a month, right? Instead of being like, well, I want to work out tomorrow. Well, that's a shorter attainable goal, right? And so once you work out tomorrow, you're going to feel the endorphins of reaching that goal and checking it off your list. So you're going to want to fucking do that shit again and again. But you're not going to lose weight every day. So it's not going to feel like you're making progress. Like, you have to make it make sense for you, and it has to feel good. And like, it does have to release those endorphins and like be something that you can say, like, you're constantly working at, right? Like, there has to be like sort of like milestone ticker so that you can continuously feel good while you're doing the work.
Yeah. I think I have my supervisor at work. She's one of those people who likes, and I think maybe part of me is like, we use a project management system that is based on task building. So that's kind of what I've fallen into, and I found myself being successful. But for her personally, she makes the most mundane sometimes to-dos just because she likes to check them off. It makes her feel good. And so like at one point she was like setting a to-do for me, which she doesn't do that anymore. But in the beginning, it was like, I'm going to make a to-do to have a post every single day, because I manage our social media. And like literally every day I would have like 90 fucking to-dos, because and it would just become too much for me. I'm like, I don't really care that much about checking off every single post in my to-do list. I just want to say like, schedule the Facebook post for this many days. And then I go through and and then I think also I'd like to be flexible. And so I try not to be like super set in stone goals where it's contingent on something, which is crazy, unless I have like an external motivation. So if there's like a true hard deadline, like if I need to submit, my timesheet by Friday, otherwise I don't get paid, I'm not going to wait on that. Like, there are certain different, I feel like, categories on which I find myself sticking to a hard goal. And then there are other times where I'm just like, no, I'm just going to do this task by task. And if I get to that end goal of what I foresaw in my head, but never put it down on paper, then that's great. But I would much rather just focus on completing, tasks one by one, which are essentially small goals, but whatever. How do you?
That's so funny because, so when I was like thinking about this question, I was like, okay, I definitely make like yearly and monthly goals, right? And like, I also break down my goals into like business, like personal goals, and then like family goals, or like household goals, which usually like includes like shit that I want to do, renovations that I want to do, and things like that. Or like trips that we want to take, stuff like that. But I did mention that, like, when I was thinking about like, okay, how does that play out in my everyday life? Like, I love task lists. I love to-do lists. I like have all these random little like to-do lists, I use the sticky notes on my laptop, like on my MacBook. I use real sticky notes. I don't know. I guess that's, and then when I'm setting my goals, I try to make them like attainable, also. And I try not to give myself too many. Right? Like,
that's true.
Because I don't want to overwhelm myself. And like throughout the year, or throughout time, other goals might appear, or other goals might come up, right? Because new interests might come up. So like, I definitely, like, in the beginning of the year, I don't do a whole lot of like, let me sit down and write all these things that I want to do, because I know myself and I know I'm going to become inspired by something else throughout the year. And so I want to give myself the space to actually add on things too, and not become overwhelmed. But I do like to have like something like set.
Yeah. And also, I mean, I don't know if many people know you, but you have always been the most fucking organized person I know. Like, literally, specifically in college, we would be like, okay, we're gonna maybe study together or whatever. And like, you'd have everything all lined up, and it would make me want to get my shit together. I'm like, wow, I'm just winging this, like, I know I have homework to do. or I know I have to study for a test, but really I'm not blogging it out like that. So that's definitely something that I feel like you've been super, if not maybe, now you're probably a little bit more because you have a lot more things going on, but it definitely is something that I feel like you've got it down, even if it's not written down, like you fucking think things through to like, you should also be like a wedding plan. All these things could benefit, you could benefit people's lives. Like, get my life together.
I don't know. I think part of that honestly plays out of like my anxiety. Like I need to like know, like I'm very much a planner person. Like I love to have a plan, and maybe that's the areas in me coming out too, because like I need to know where the fuck we going so that I can prepare myself so that like, like what I have going on outside of this won't be affected, so like I can think forward, so I can just know what's happening.
Yeah.
And I've kind of always been that way. When school starts, all my syllabus are out and my my planner is out, and I'm like putting in what I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like I used to start papers in the beginning of the semester that were like 20 pages long and weren't due till the last day.
Yeah.
But I'd have it done by the first few weeks of the semester, and I'll just be, the first draft, and I'll just be refining it. Because I also am someone who likes to give myself like second chances. So like I want to get the first draft done so I can get like whatever that bullshit is, and so I can actually like do that and figure out what I'm really doing. And I think I do that with my goals too. Like I'll like throw up like a bunch of stuff I want to do, and then like condense it down to like, you're saying the same shit, Sydney. Essentially, you want to do this, grow your business this way, or like, do this. And so I write a ton of shit down. I was writing while you were talking. Like I was like, I just do. And I think that goes into like our one of our questions about like, how do you stay organized with your priorities and goals? I write down like so much stuff. And like I said, like I use sticky notes, and I use to-do lists, and I use planners. And today, not even thinking about recording our show, but today I like went down this rabbit hole of identifying like, all right, I'm already late because it's the 19th, but what do I want my 2021 planner to look like? And realizing that like, I did a good job with my planner for 2020. I wouldn't say a great job, but I did a good job. Like I kept up with most things. I wrote in it every month. But I did realize as I was going, there were some things that were missing. So I think this year I'm actually going to like customize my planner and create some of my pages, even like on Canva, like specifically for me in the way that I think. Just because I want to be that much more intentional about it. So like I stay with my calendar. I'm also looking for like a desktop calendar for my my office, just to keep on my desk, because like I love desktop calendars. I had one of those in every one of my fucking jobs. It's like one of the first things I order. Like one of the first things I order with my business budget, like, my material budget at any job I've had is like a desktop calendar, just because I like the way they look. I can write on them. I can doodle. I doodle a lot too. And so yeah, notebooks, journals. That's really how I stay organized, right? And like, can I just tell you, so I bought this journal, right? Of course, last December. And I was writing in my journal, or I wrote in my planner at the beginning of the year. It's all my goal tracking and things like that. I talked about like, one of my top 5 goals of the year was to launch From Sid with Love. And I did.
Oh, shit.
Another one was to find a doula mentor. And I did. And my last one was to join a Black professional group, and I did, because I joined the National Black Doula Association. So like, I haven't looked at this page since like February. And like, wow, that like I actually did some of my goals, and like I like this one because in the tracking it asks you to like write an inspirational saying to yourself, I guess. And I was like telling myself like, you're doing all this to like make the major move into being your own boss. Like this is going to let you create your own schedule and spend more time with your family. Like this is wild. I'm like reading through this. And then the last thing at the bottom was like, how are you going to make this happen? And I wrote like, no more applying for new jobs. Either you stay here or you're going to work for yourself. And I signed this. It said, complete all these goals by December 2020. And I signed this January 3rd, 2020. January 3rd, 2020, right? So I sent it. That was the day before From Sid with Love became like an actual business.
Damn.
Like when you talk about writing stuff down, you know what I'm saying? Like I would, And I wasn't even actually paying close attention to this. Like, imagine if I was even paying closer attention, right? Like, so I don't know. That makes me excited. I had to share that because that shit makes me excited.
Yeah, that's crazy. You fucking manifested it. And it's amazing because that's something that I hear a lot of people say about manifesting is like putting it down on paper. You know what? So that's funny that you said this is kind of on topic. It's funny that you said you never really paid attention or looked back at that page. So a friend of ours, Desiree, her mom once told me that that's kind of how she lives life. She takes a day, she writes down all the goals that she wants, she puts it somewhere and never looks at it again. And then lo and behold, she'll go back and look at whatever that paper is, you know, however long goes by, and she'll fucking accomplish, she'll do the things that she wrote down, which is amazing because it's like that's the power, dope. You know how people say like there's a power in the words you say and speak out loud. Well, I also think that there's definitely power in the word, like what you write.
Absolutely.
You know?
That's
and
real.
I feel like that's the first step in goal making, manifesting, XYZ, all the things is writing it down and then speaking it.
Right. You know and I think also, like you mentioned earlier, which is really important, is like being aligned, right? Like you mentioned how people were like tweeting like, oh, like in December, you're going to get all these things. But like, if that's not what you truly want,
right.
You know what I'm saying? If that's not something that you've been actually looking for, that's fine. But like, be true to yourself. Like, you have to like, your goals have to be aligned with like what you truly, truly want. And I think also that's kind of like how we're able to find our purpose too, right?
Yeah.
Like when you set goals and they kind of seem like you're not getting closer to them, I feel like sometimes it's a good thing to kind of reevaluate and be like, well, why am I doing this? What is stopping me from getting closer to it? And maybe it's because like, that's not really my purpose, or like, that's not really where I want to walk. Like, that's not really what I want to do. Like, just like you mentioned earlier too, what I wrote down was like setting goals. A big part of that is like being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And like, I had not honestly even thought about that too. You mentioned that earlier, but it really does take like, honesty, like you are the one setting this, like you set yourself up for success. You know what you're capable of. So if it's like, for you, you need to set these little tiny goals of like, I'm going to eat breakfast tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And then the next day you write down another goal of I'm gonna eat breakfast tomorrow, then do that and check that off, right? Like set yourself up for success. Like goal setting and like setting up really your priorities is gonna look different for everybody.
Yeah. That's for real. I think it's amazing how, you know, you had mentioned something about finding your purpose or, you know, reaching it because based on the goals that you align, which is something that I feel like another thing is that we're not giving credit to 2020 is a lot of people, you know, really dove into the things that they truly, truly value. And it's by default because maybe they lost your job. Maybe they need to find, another source of income, whatever the case may be. But, you know, I was reading up on this because of like kind of struggling with, you know, what my purpose was. And I came across this podcast website, and they basically what they do is they do a podcast episode, then they write an article, and then they also include like worksheets if you want to do them along with it. And this guy was like, the title was trying to figure out your purpose, do this instead. And that basically, I'll go like long story short, is you don't necessarily decide what your purpose is in life. Like you don't wake up one day and decide that your purpose is going to be saving baby horses. You know what I mean? Like you discover it along the way. And I feel like these little small goals, if you are trying to figure out your purpose, it really, I don't know why it was like a big like perspective shifter for me, but it's like you have to really like dedicate and commit time to things in order to discover whether or not that's your true purpose. You know, like
that's real.
If I wanted to be a poet, well, I'm not wanted to be, but if I wanted to be like a famous, successful poet, I need to be honest with myself and commit to doing certain things, writing more, you know, working towards publishing a book, working towards XYZ, you know, all these different things that I can be doing. And so I might be struggling with finding my purpose is because I'm looking in the wrong places. I'm not necessarily trying to discover it and let it happen to me, and some people do have a strong connection with, God and, their calling and spiritual work and all that kind of things and find it that way. But I think in that same sense, you're still discovering it. So I think once you discover whatever that is, you can set goals to like, you knew a long time ago that you wanted to work with families and, kids and parents and mothers and Black women, all those kinds of things. And did you know, did you decide I'm going to become a doula? No, you didn't decide. In college, we were talking about a lot different path, but I feel like you found yourself, by setting goals and trying things out and, you became a mom and, all of those experiences that you had helped you discover what your true calling is. And I feel like that's really amazing because that's that's a whole nother conversation that we can talk about all day long. But I feel like giving yourself that space and grace to, test things out and you set goals that are fulfilling outside of your pocket. You know what I mean? Like, I could set a goal of being a millionaire and reach that. Is it going to fulfill me all the way around? Is it going to make my heart happy? Who knows? I don't have that goal. Maybe I'll make that my goal and become a millionaire and let you all know, which is probably not going to happen. But, I think it's amazing how we are really in control of, not really truly in control, because I guess it depends on your beliefs, but like you can control the decisions you make at the bare minimum, no matter what your goal is. Free will is part of it. And that's how you decide, what your decisions are going to be. And, or by default, they're made for you because you failed to make a decision. So I feel like setting goals and tasks is the way to kind of work towards, that true purpose and all that. But sorry, that was a very long-winded answer, or not even an answer, a comment. So I just really like this topic. And I think it's great that we're having this conversation so close to the end of the year, because it's something that a lot of people are talking about and thinking about. I mean, it's natural. If you are a business owner or even a company, depending on your fiscal year, if your fiscal year is a calendar year, then you're looking at your goal. I mean, really, you'd start at the beginning of the quarter, but if you're corporate or whatever. But anyways, you look at this past year to try and see what areas you can grow in. So it's natural. It's part of progressing in life. So I don't want to ever discredit that. Like, if you're looking at resolutions and goals, that is perfectly fine. I'm definitely not trying to say that there's anything wrong with it. I just hope that when you are thinking of those things, you're not making yourself feel pressure to do it based off what you're seeing on the internet or based off what people are trying to sell you.
Mm-hmm.
And
or based off the time of year. Yeah.
Right.
I feel that. I don't know if this is a stupid question. Are resolutions the same as goals? What are New Year's resolutions supposed to be for? At my big age, I don't know.
I feel like they are the same, but a resolution is really like a long-term goal. Like a year.
Okay.
So like, what are you going to do the next 365 days? You have God saying the same, right? If you have 365 days ahead of you, what are you going to do with them by this time next year? So January 1st, 2021, what are we going to accomplish by the time of January 1st, 2022?
Got you. Okay. Do you normally so I'm guessing you don't set like New Year's resolutions?
I've tried, and as I've gotten older, I've realized I wasn't being honest with myself, which is why it's a big part of like, am I going to set a goal? Because if it's really not something I want to do, if I have to do it, then maybe I'm going to do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've pretty much set most of the time, if I'm being 100% honest, my goals or my resolutions have always been around weight loss or working out, not necessarily weight loss, because I've considered myself fit at different points in my life. But just like giving in to that whole, start your membership for just $1. Shit, I can go to the gym for $1 bet. And now it's like I probably won't set foot into a gym for the next year. So
Right,
maybe
yeah,
even ever, depending on how much space I have in my house, I'll just
for
make a gym
real.
in my own house. You know what I mean?
Shit. Oh man, now you made me think about my sim house.
I was just thinking I miss my Sims.
I do too. Okay, we need to get back on it. But
Yes.
but yeah, that's real. I clearly I didn't even really know what a resolution was, but I do have in the past like set goals in the year. I wouldn't really call them resolutions. I know last year something that Mo and I did was like when we thought about what we wanted to do for this year, we kind of thought about like I mentioned, like personal business, and then we did something like for each other. Like we wrote down a couple things like I want to be able to support Mo in this and this year. I want to be able to do this and this to help him achieve his goals. And then he did that same thing for me, which was cool.
Yeah, goals.
Yeah.
I'm about to do that with Kendall.
Yeah, we also look at like numerology. That's really our thing. Like every year we do like our numbers again, and we have like a numerology book. So we look at that and kind of like think and set some intentions as kind of based on that, which is kind of cool.
I need that book, or
yeah, I got
we
you.
need to get on Zoom and just do it all together.
Yeah, I'm down with that for sure. Yeah, we do it every year. And it's like, I don't know how we keep this book so close to us, but we really do it every year. It's wild. This will be what, the 5th or 6th year we do it together. So
yeah. Wow, y'all been together for damn.
That's my baby.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So what is one of your goals for 2021? Since you haven't set a resolution yet, I mean, there's still time. We got I don't know math right now. So however many days until the 31st.
Right,
so you said that you were going down a rabbit hole earlier about goals and priorities and all that. So what is one of your goals for 2021?
Yeah. Well, I guess one of my like short-term goals before it happens, or even in early 2021, is to put together my 2021 binder, like my planner. Like I'm really excited for that. But I know something that I've thought about doing, like, and I mentioned it before, and I'm going to keep mentioning it because I want to hold myself accountable, is I am going to start playing the guitar in 2021. So that is one of my goals, to purchase and strum the guitar string.
Yes, I love it. That's dope.
What about you?
I'll have you playing in the background of one of my poems one of these.
Oh, come on now.
Collab.
Come on now. Y'all gonna see the next thing that's gonna happen is gonna be like an album that comes out, and it's gonna be Ariana reciting her poetry with me doing the acoustic in the back.
Write that down. One of my goals for 2021. Okay. I probably should get another planner. Maybe not even another. I think I just need to renovate one of my old ones that I probably never touched.
Do you have ones that are like undated?
So no. One thing that I tried, like when I first got my job, what is that, 2 years ago almost now, I was struggling to get organized because it was like go, go, go from the time I started. So one thing that I found myself trying, which worked for me for like the time I was actually doing it, and then I lost track of time for real and didn't do it, was bullet journaling. So if you're not familiar with what bullet journaling is, which typically you do them in these journals that have like dots on them. Wow. So no pages or anything like that. So you can create boxes, doodles, whatever the case may be. Yeah. So I was doing that for a little bit. So that was the last time I ever bought something, because I did find myself not using the calendars that actually had dates. And because I don't know why, I think, and now I'm at a point to where I rely so much on my task manager for work that if I put it down somewhere else, I might forget to actually do it. So I would like to probably try and do it just personally, because doing bullet journaling or even like just regular journaling, on a regular basis, I don't want to say daily, because I mean, again, being honest with myself, I don't know that I would commit to that because sometimes I'm just not in the mood to write. You know, a big thing that I honestly just realized recently is I used to, which this is not, I'm not saying that this is okay, disclaimer, but when I used to actually drive to work or drive places, I would write while I was driving. And I don't know why. It was just like I either like see something or hear something on, you know, playing in a song or just having like even without the music on, you know, I spend time thinking when I was driving and I would write. So now that I don't have that, committing to writing every day is just less and less more likely. But I would like to develop some sort of like maybe once a month, or maybe like once a week or something like that. I haven't really decided yet. And also my other goal, I know you only asked me for one. That's really not a goal. It's I mean, it is a goal, but I just thought of it right now. But one that I thought about before this, which you know already, but I'll share with everyone else. I applied to grad school as a non-degree seeking student because I could not decide. I was writing my statement of purpose and I really just was like rolling my eyes at what I was saying. It was like I was writing shit that I thought people, you know, would want to hear. And I can't do that, you know, like I've I really hold myself to a standard when it comes to writing. I know that I'm a good writer. So like to put together something that I know was like bullshit, I just couldn't do it. So I was talking with somebody the other day and she was like, well, you just take classes? Because I work for the university. I can take them for a discounted rate. And I was like, holy shit. I already knew that. But then I was like, maybe I should just call and ask. So I called and asked. And the lady was like, yeah, but you just have to be accepted as a student. So that's how I was like, oh, so I can just apply as a non-degree seeking student? And she's like, yes. I was like, holy shit. Then I, you know, logged in and, you know, set my application off. So my hope is that I get to like attend at least 3 classes because that's full time as a grad student in different subjects. So then I can decide or not even decide because I learned about this whole thing called liberal arts master's degree, which is basically an interdisciplinary study.
Yes.
So my hope is that if I can't find something that's super concrete through grad school, that I take enough classes where I can decide, okay, I'm going to do a very different style of study and do it underneath the liberal arts master's degree program. So that is my goal for 2021. And
you're so dope. You're just so dope. You're just so dope. I'm so fucking excited.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, you and our friend Desiree, who I talk to almost every day, I'm just like, I need to get my shit together. Not in a sense of like I'm all over the place, but like you both have I mean, it may or may not be your true calling in your whole entire life, but like right now in this moment that we're in, you all have very much so determined what path you're going to go on. And I'm kind of just like, this road looks good. You know? And I have like I have a career, so it's like, yeah, I can do that for however long and be happy with that. But like having something that I'm like honestly doing off the clock, because I don't know if I'll ever. I mean, maybe I will work for myself or work. I mean, for you, really. I don't know if I'll ever get out of this whole like mindset of I'm okay with like having a job that pays me regularly, you know, not dependent on my hustle. Cause you know, the undergrad really fucking blew my hustle out. I was actually thinking about that. I was like thinking about that the other day of like, oh my gosh, if I was to quit my job and like have to depend on my hustle, I don't know if I have it in me. I mean, I probably do. I don't want to discredit myself, but really, I don't know. It sounds exhausting. So I commend you for sure. I mean, but you also love it. So it doesn't feel like a hustle to you. It feels like you're bettering yourself and being able to be the best doula and child educator that you can be. So yeah. Anyways, I've been having these long-winded ass conversations. I'm sorry. I don't know how long we've been talking, but I feel like I've been just talking for hours and hours.
You're fine. It's great. It's all good. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. So I did want to, so I know that our cause or what we're bringing awareness to this month, because I do want to wrap up so that we can get out of here. But We are, supporting and shouting out Black businesses all December long. And so I mentioned earlier that I went on this like long rabbit hole of YouTube and Instagram and really trying to piece together like what I'm about to do with my planner this year. And I found first of all, I found a bunch of really great people on the internet streets who blog about this stuff and like who sell different things. And so I wanted to shout out a couple businesses that I found today. One is Planet Katie, which is funny because it's like a play on it, right? Like Plan It Katie, but it's spelled like Planet Solar System Planet. And she has an Etsy shop and she sells like planner essentials. She sells like really cute stickers, like Black girl stickers and just fun stuff and inserts for your journal as you're building your journal and things and your planner for the year. So she's really great. I love her Etsy shop. I love her Instagram. I started following her today. And then also another company that I found that was started by a Black woman is Gold Mine and Cocoa. And she is super fucking dope. She has a YouTube channel and she like unboxes different journals she gets. And she like goes through and does like a walkthrough of how she puts her journal together. And she also sells like journal or planner essentials and like stickers and inserts and downloadable sheets that you can print at your own home, or like she'll send you some, like all different types of like really great inserts, budget inserts, self-care, and just all types of really great stuff. And her YouTube videos are really, really aesthetically pleasing. So I like fell into a rabbit hole with her. But she has really great stuff. And so if you're trying to find some inspiration or looking to see how to like get started with like building your own planner, like just trying to, I don't know, figure out how other people plan. She was talking about like all these different designs she does with different pages to fit people's different needs of wanting to plan. Like if you're someone who likes a daily plan or just monthly plan, rabbit hole. But those are two really great people that I found on the internet, and I want to share and shout them out during our episode since we are talking about goal setting and priorities and all that jazz. You should definitely go check out their shops and their social media pages, and of course, we'll link that in our episode description.
Yeah, that's dope. I was just looking at when you were talking. I was looking at her Planet Katie's Instagram. It's cute. I love those stickers.
Super, super cute. I'm like, I want.
You got me wanting to spend money on a calendar I probably won't use, but hey, if you know what, maybe we can just do some goal planning shit together. That'll be our next thing. Yeah. But great. I can't wait. I'll probably check out the Gold Mine and Cocoa YouTube channel as well, just because it's timely and I'm looking for some inspiration.
I think once I once I buy the things I want to buy to put my planner together, like the stickers, because I'm definitely going to buy stickers from both of them. And once I get like my binder, I'll maybe do like a video of all the stuff that I get and show y'all.
Yes.
Show you how I set up my planner.
Yes. I can't wait. Write that down too. Alrighty. So this comes to the end. But before we let you go completely, we're going to, of course, give you a quote that hopefully will carry you through this week and until we see you next time. So, by recording your dreams and goals on paper, you set in motion the process of becoming the person you most want to be. Put your future in good hands, your own. And this is by Mark Victor Hansen.
Appreciate you, Mark. Marky Mark.
Shout out.
Yeah. But I like that quote. That's great.
Good, because you found it.
Right. Yeah. But as Ari mentioned in the beginning of our episode, we're going to be taking a little break. So we'll be back in the new year. This is our last episode for 2020. But definitely stay connected with us on social media. Follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram. We will be posting things on our social media platforms during our break. We have some exciting things that are coming up that we're excited to share. And really just excited to see the podcast grow. So, share with your friends, like, subscribe, let us know, some shit you care about that you want us to hear about. Tag us and let us know some really great Black businesses. Yeah,
definitely. We will miss you. And We thanks for hanging in there. Sydney, I know we said we're going to let you go, but hold on 1 second. Sydney had shared with me the other day this post about someone saying that most podcasts don't make it into their 10th episode.
Yeah.
So shout out to us and you all for hanging in there with us and listening, because we made it to 11, which, you know, a lot of people don't make it to. So we are so grateful to have this platform to talk about some shit we care about and bring you all along the journey with us.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, any last words? Dun, dun, dun.
Nah. I think that's it. Just enjoy your holidays and we'll see you in the new year. Or see you on